people. Turns out I never made an intro. This is the intro. My name is Katie. You can find me on Instagram at KatieIsHereNow, and I don't have a Twitter, so that's it. In this video, I'll be making this shirt with this yarn. The design for it was generated by my computer because I programmed it to do that. It's a web app that should be live by the time this video comes out. If not, whoopsie. You can find it in the description below. Please enjoy the video.
So this is the yarn I intend to use for my project. It's actually quite a nice sort of shade of red. I'm not totally sure if it's appearing on the camera, but it's sort of fairly nice burgundy colour. It's made out of cotton, and as I'm planning to make a t-shirt, this is ideal. The swatch gauge given for it is 20 centimeters by 24 rows. I have actually made this using the recommended 4mm needle size in grey, and while I did achieve that swatch gauge, I found the actual fabric itself just a bit sort of stiff feeling, a little bit tighter than I'd like it to be, especially considering I'm planning to make this into a t-shirt. I'd like it to drape a bit nicer against my skin, and I'm going to try this again in a 5mm needle and see how that goes.
The gauge given by the yarn is 20 stitches by 24 rows, and this makes it 10 by 10 centimeters square. I would usually double the stitch count when making a swatch to only use the centermost and therefore least warped stitches for my gauge. As I'm using larger needles, I'm only going to cast on 1.5 times the gauge given, and then add an extra 6 stitches, as I like to create a garter stitch border when swatching in stocking stitch. This is confusing, but basically I'm casting on 36 stitches. If you want to know what to do with swatches when you're done getting all the information you need from them, I usually frog them and knit them into my project. It's apparently bad because of stretching, but I've never noticed. Some people save them and sew them together to make a patchwork quilt. Other people use them as washcloths. I've even seen people frame them and have them as decoration. I do quite like the idea of sticking swatches to my walls so I can stroke the walls in lieu of having pets and friends. Here, I've knitted a few rows of garter stitch, and the outer 3 stitches on each side are continued in garter stitch to prevent the main stocking stitch from curling. It's not remotely necessary, as it's already bigger than it needs to be, but I like doing it.
So I have measured the swatch gauge. It's 16.5 stitches and 25 rows. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to just put that into the little pattern generator I made and start my project. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Swatching can also tell you how your yarn feels when knitted, and if you're making your own pattern, you have a bit more freedom to choose how you want the fabric to feel. I mentioned previously about finding the swatch made using the recommended needle size a bit stiff feeling, and the 5mm needles did indeed make the fabric feel lighter, nicer and drapier. And this is what I mean. When you get to choose the exact texture, you can make sure that it suits its intended purpose perfectly. A stiff, thick-feeling t-shirt would be unpleasant to wear, and by putting in more time and effort into making multiple swatches, I ended up sort of saving time, effort, and material by only needing to make a t-shirt I actually intend to wear pretty continuously, and by only needing to make it once. I'm quite obviously a swatch convert, and I tried to create a portmanteau of these words, but failed as swatchvert kind of sounds weird. Despite saying all of this, I still find making swatches annoying. But I make them now.
So last night I actually managed to get a bit more done than I expected to. Honestly, a lot more done than I expected to. This was good for me. But we've got most of the neck to underarm area done. My aim today, I guess, is to finish that bit. And then it's just the waist. I plan to make a crop top from this, so it's just going to be to the waist. Considering how much I've managed to get done, I'm hoping to get this done within the week, which would be ambitious, but again, crop top and short sleeves, so should be okay. Okay, so just very quickly coming back to what I'm actually intending to do today. So if you can see here, there's all of these little increases that you can see. So yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3. So there's 12 on this. I need to get this to 18. At the moment, they are once every 3 rounds. So it's 2 normal rounds, 1 increase round. And then soon, the very last one is actually going to be on every 4th round. So it's 3 normal rounds, 1 increase round. And that's it.
The next day.
Good morning to all the people who are not in my home. That's just myself and Tom, so it's pretty much everyone. This is what I managed to do yesterday. So I got, put the sleeves on a separate stitch holder. Did this, worked 1 row in this round, so it's just there. Gave it a try on. It's a little bit shorter than I thought it would be, but I might go fix that in the pattern, but it's not actually bad. I don't mind it. It's a little bit shorter than I thought it would be. My aim for the day isn't too much for this thing. You see, I want to get all the way down to the waist done. But tomorrow I'm actually finally expecting my attachment for my tripod so I can put my phone and the camera that my sister lent to me here. And I want to show some nice close-up work of knitting because I think that would look nice. But instead I've got to wait for that thing to turn up. Anyway, this is what I'm doing now. 4 balls of yarn into this project, and I have found my first knot. Actually already undone it, but they were tied together. So last night I didn't actually do as much as I wanted to do. There's not that much difference between where I was yesterday, which was here, and where I finished last night, which would have been about here. So this is all this morning. I didn't do all that much last night or yesterday. Reason being is I picked up my knitting and promptly fell asleep. That was it. I just picked it up and just fell asleep instantly. So it is 10 past midnight right now. Really wanted to get the waist done. Did not get the waist done. Tomorrow I will try and do the rest of the waist and the sleeves before 3 p.m. where I intend to wear the shirt and go eat a chicken sandwich. But I'm gonna sleep because I don't think I actually need to make an excuse for that. I think I'm just allowed to sleep. I'm gonna do the sleeping. So it's Friday 1 p.m. I have 2 hours to do the sleeves and finishing off the, weaving in ends. That's not gonna happen. So my dreams of eating chicken in this are also not gonna happen. I'm literally about to start the cuff of the final sleeve. I have like 4 more rows left of a sleeve and this much yarn. I'm gonna have to start a new ball of yarn and I don't like it. A historic moment for me. I actually weaved the ends in. Look at all of these ends. Like it's got a hole in it. This seems like witchcraft to me. But they're in. There's no ends. Pardon the mess, but this blanket over here, there is 195 squares in that, and those ends are not woven in. I just fold it that way so you can't see it.
11 minutes later.
Now I'm going to block this and forget I own it. So I finished it. This is what it looks like now. There's a few issues with it, which I'm going to discuss now. One, and possibly the most annoying issue, which I might just go back and fix, is that the hem of this, the very, very last row when I cast off, I didn't switch the larger needle size, so it's not that stretchy and it's a bit hard to take on and off. It's not uncomfy, it's just hard to take on and off. Another issue that I'm not going to fix, but I have already fixed the coding and tested whether or not this is better, is that here, so I made this entire neckband. I took the width of my shoulders. I divided the width of my shoulders by half. I then multiplied that by 2.25.
A lot of boring math later.
That seemed to work out a lot better, and I fixed that in the coding because I think this isn't, it's hard to see, but it makes It's just the line is quite wrong. It would be better if it was here. But apart from that, I'm really happy with how this went. I think it looks good. It's very comfy. It's really soft. I am delighted that I managed to get it done within the week. It fits me perfectly, which is good because I designed it to. And yeah, I'm very happy with it. So that I think is a good point for my pattern generator. I don't really know what to call it. The small little mistakes I've made are ones that I don't find too irritating because they don't affect like how comfy it is. They just affect how hard it is to take on and off in the case of this, and just the look of the shoulders, which is a bit irritating but could be a lot worse. So yeah, don't know how to finish off videos right now.